where a rivalry that's conference renews tonight. 30 plus
and both at all four spots. That's two guys because somebody's going to beat you.
And coach at Houston every week.
He's just a winner. He's a guy that
to receive. And the Cougars will come out from he's a transfer from Louisiana. Start before a season-ending injury. He's not
around and hit just about every area on the field.
They'll try the ground game with Stacy.
Stop this Houston running game because they're going to
first pass for Chris, and that's Makai Mew.
Important to this Houston offensive line.
Down. Offensive line, first down and 10. Here's the blitz. Hudson bubbles to the outside. They want to get him the ball and spit. Is the new right tackle. Johnson again. There's that screen. And this time nowhere. Houston has been held to no gain, negative yards, or it's been a penalty. That's Makai Mews.
Yeah.
They keep it on the ground, which tells you they were probably.
You're right. 4-down territory for the Cougar offense.
Consistent wideout, injured last week. Chris, incomplete. Intended to pain in the fourth quarter against Kansas last week. Middle screen. This is Richardson. Stiff arm. Feathers the sideline. Career start tonight. He catches it out of the backfield. Andre, you know that he had 300 recruit. Here comes Payne, and he is dropped for a loss of a yard.
Are here to see today.
Against a three-man rush. Quick slant, Payne underneath. The batting five for the Cougars. Young Chris still in there. And Donovan Smith at end. Malik Carr pushing into TCU territory. TCU brings the blitz. Chris has room to run. Tackle from behind.
Back to the lineup.
He gets the call, bulldozes forward.
And I think it's that way for Burnett as well. It kind of gives them some.
Zone read, and Snead gets popped. Ball came out again. Contact with an indicator, and you check off all three boxes. And so Kamara's night like.
TCU's number one. Number one is disqualified for the remainder of the game.
Zone read, Burnett again, up the gut. He is to the 8
coverage. Right at the top of the screen.
And a timeout by TCU against Iowa State. Really, this offense has struggled to gain traction all season long. Chris to the end zone. Caught for a touchdown by. Extra point attempt by Jack Martin is good, and Houston has the
on a Saturday afternoon.
Fair catch called for by Jordan Bailey.
To start. Now we're at the start.
Sam Cook breaking tackles and hunted down by Batten. Second season in the league. Hoover finds Besh for a first down. He's
along the sideline.
Cook bounces to the outside and pushed out by
doing your stuff on offense.
Quick throw, Richardson drags a couple of defenders. Richardson's uncle was actually
good golfer too.
Roommate at Texas Tech.
Pretty good golfer.
Pressure that time coming from Tulane to Houston. Little three-man twist. Intercepted.
Well, we talked about it.
First playoff sudden change. Chris still in at quarterback. It's his running back, Snead. They pick on him. Transfer from Texas. Patient run by Snead. Going to be a little shy.
Should be a reminder, hey, hang on to the football here, youngster.
How about Burnett sledgehammers across midfield. Quickly to the outside, Jonah Wilson with ball out. Play action. Downfield, man jack. And a decided advantage when it comes to time of possession. Quick throw, Carr, broken tackle, sideline toward the pylon. Here's the toss. Reaching. And Rayshon Sanford is in. The extra point by Martin.
You don't get too low if you've happened to make a mistake. There's a lot of football left to play.
And a TCU team that can score quick. Hoover can't get away, and he is sacked. That's key. Hoover escaping away from Holmes. Deep downfield. Besh slips. It's picked again. Halsey.
They get a little bit cold. They're not executing at a high level.
Meanwhile, Chris continues to execute.
With these receivers at Houston.
Chris on the zone read keeper. Moves the chain. The worst run defense in the Big 12. Chris again faked the end around to Muse and then goes. McDonald bringing pressure, and he gets home.
Was on the ground there a little bit early.
Cooper, McDonald. Chris moves the pocket. Pressure coming. Heaves it to the sideline. J.P. Richardson.
Oh, yeah.
Had a punt return touchdown last week against Kansas. Fair catch signal.
And from Notre Dame. Definition of a student athlete.
Jordan Bailey is engulfed
from the bottom part of your screen.
And Andy Dalton.
You're correct.
Advantages for teams like TCU,
yeah.
For teams like Houston. You can go get guys in the portal and get them to come home.
So you're going to struggle offensively if that's what the type of production you're putting out.
On the ground, and that's DJ Butler. That's approach. Chris keeps it, breaks a tackle, turns the corner. Turbo. Here comes Baylor. Return called back against SMU. Went
up a bunch of time. Pick up first downs.
Hoover, quick throw, nearly interception number 3. Wanted Carter Bateman, may have been screened by his own guy. Cook chainsaws across the 40-yard line.
The season, no interceptions. His last 65 passes, now 66. He's got 6 INTs.
Richardson's
on that last play.
Now the tempo is activated, and it's Cook again getting the call. So Cook again snakes to the outside, upended.
Help his running back.
They continue to feed Cook, and he's driven back by Kendra Gant. It's now a missed BAT.
Nice job. Hoover finding the man-to-man coverage or the one-on-one potential to do it.
Makai Muse.
And not allow this TCU crowd to get itself involved in the stadium and mix in some zone behind it.
3 timeouts and the 2-minute timeout remaining. Power back Burnett. Zion Chris has provided the September Heisman. Here is Zion Chris. Big. Zion Chris! A couple of plays later, Chris using his feet, and Andre, that is.
Let's go find some production and get ourselves into the end zone.
You know,
some outstanding football.
With 2 timeouts and the way their offense goes, this is a big drive as Cook gets the call, doesn't get very far. On 3rd down, incomplete miscommunication.
Now you got to punt it yourself here.
Ethan Craw punts it away. Muse signals with a fair catch, makes it in.
Right here, big guy. Time on the clock. Another saying I have is you can't score enough points in the first half of a football game. If we happen to be playing well that night, but there's no such thing as too many. They got it, then you go ahead and try to get the field goal. I understand that, but when there's time on the clock.
It brings us to halftime. Point for TCU. Bailey turbines his way to the 25-yard. A touchdown late in that first half. Low snap. Here's the blitz. Richardson's been the go-to target tonight. Pushed him out.
You see now, instead of holding the football, which
and 88 passing yards in that first half. You find yards, and Andre, when you turn on the film, that's what you see. The first.
It's a handful of his face mask.
Team that had 2 future first-rounders in Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas.
He's had
a game against UCF. Low snap again. Hoover slings one. That's complete.
And Hoover's starting to heat up.
Yeah, that's dangerous with these receivers. Hoover on Savion Williams. Overthrow. Bad transfer from Arkansas. Played for Kendall Briles. Gets the call. He's their big bruiser. And brings it into Houston field.
That so-called book everyone talks about.
Here comes the blitz. Batten throws Hoover to the ground.
Certainly playing tonight and having some success.
Mekhi Muse signals for the fair catch. Wisely led. Coming out of halftime, you had the face mask penalty against Besh, then the sack.
Zion Chris.
Little RPO. Chris changing direction. And picks up about against one of the best passing offenses in the country. Butler thrown for a long.
In terms of field position.
Screen pass. Man jack. He's going to be well short, so TCU.
Big 12 Special Teams Player of the Week. Back to receive this punt.
Richardson had one last week against Kansas, but a fair catch call.
Let's take a look at his ears, and you don't want to mess with it.
Yeah, good thing he's a fighter, not a receiver. Hoover's throw to the sideline. On the ground here on second down. Patient run, and then the burst by Cam Cook. Play action. Bash on the slant, juggled it, and could.
They slipped to the shoulder of Besh.
Cook on the sweep. Dragged down. Now Trent Battle comes back. Time for Hoover. He'll take off. And he is. TCU will go for it.
Came up short once. That's the board.
Richardson in motion. There's Savion Williams. Quick slant. Pitch and kick.
And squaring up to the quarterback.
They go back to Savion Williams too high. And they're going to get Carter. Cook. And able to turn that. Richardson tripped up by Carter. And when the offense subs, the defense can take its time to sub. And now here on first down, Payne the freshman in motion. Blitz from the middle. Jump ball broken up, intended.
McCutcheon. Also, he's just a spectator.
Williams the motion man. Here is Payne, the freshman, with his first collegiate touchdown. Here's the snap. Cook is tackled short of the line. Screen pass. Stacy Snead brought down by Johnny Hodges. Pressure off the edge. Chris submerged under a tsunami of purple.
It was really close.
4.5 to go in the third. They work on Chris. Began the season as the starter and was the starter last year. Enters the game for the first time today, and he picks up. Retreats to the 26, hit immediately. Sluka decided certain needs weren't met. That one was caught by Richards. Short field for Houston. Chris is back in there, a little trickeration. Wow. Clark, one of the veteran leaders on the back end of that defense, a captain. Manjack, the motion man. He gets it on the fly sweep and dropped. Austin Jordan has stepped up to.
Manjack's going to run for a while. Also, it brings up, puts Houston angles because of his legs.
And Houston's got an unreliable kicking game. Chris using his legs and Chris pumps. Fires a strike over the middle. It's Jono. The power back. Burnett charging across the 5.
Run it
That's
down.
the end of the third quarter.
Get us to the fourth quarter in these.